Alright, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to Geekvice, episode 222, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name's Morph, that man's Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
Oh, man, so we are back. What have you been doing for the last week?
Unfortunately, I haven't been doing a whole heck of a lot.
I
I did get a new board game
Ooh,
that hopefully we'll get to the table on Friday, and then I'll be able to talk about it. But we got Letters from Whitechapel,
okay.
so I'd like to talk about it, but I want to wait until we get some plays in. So I just thought I'd bring it up so we can
Yeah.
at least have a record that I mentioned it, so we can say, what do we want to talk about? Oh yeah, Letters from
It was
Whitechapel.
that one. Yeah. Oh, this last week has just been crazy. This month that I thought was going to be a light, easy, we'll be able to get through this month has not really turned out like that. So, every night has been filled with something going on. Tryouts for soccer has started this week for the fall. So, had Reese had soccer tryouts on Monday night. Conley had soccer tryouts tonight. Reese has tryouts again tomorrow night, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday they both have tryouts on all three of those days. So
I guess we won't see you at D&D on Saturday.
no, you will not. I didn't even know we were playing on Saturday, but much like everything in my life, stuff has been crazy and full. I don't know if I talked about it last week, but I did order some more parts for the Geekvice computer.
Nice.
So I've got a tower that's sitting over. I can't really show it on the screen. It would be really big, kind of hard to fit in this little window. But I've got the tower now. I've got the case for it. I've got the hard drive. The motherboard and processor should be here tomorrow. Now I just need to get the RAM and the video card and, of course, a power supply. So, hopefully...
It's coming together.
Yeah, my hope is by the end of July, I've got all the parts ordered and get it all put together. Get it put together in August, and so by this fall, I'll have a new podcasting computer with a Ryzen 7 8-core 12-thread processor that should be able to handle all the encoding, all the stuff that needs to be done to stream effectively. So
sweet. I'm gonna totally geek out on that.
Yeah, we're gonna, and my hope is when I get all that, I'm going to break out this new GoPro that I have that I still haven't even opened yet, and use that to record some, just like a unboxing and kind of, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then maybe show it all put together and see what it looks like. So
nice.
This has turned into a father-son project. Reese got really excited when I told him that I was buying all the parts to a computer, so he wants to kind of help me put it together and see how the inside of a computer and all that. So I've kind of turned this into a father-son bonding time, which has made my wife at least more tolerable with spending money on computer parts. That to her, she just looks and is like, "Why do you need this stuff again?" I just do. I just
Yeah. So I can teach our son about computers.
exactly. So it was, it's been a lot of fun, the process so far. I need some prices to come down a little bit. Video cards are ridiculously expensive, and so is RAM right now. So, yeah, I gotta wait for those prices to come down a little bit. or I'm hoping that they'll come down a little bit when we get to Father's Day, which is in a couple weeks, and then maybe in July we start heading into the people starting getting ready to go back to school type stuff. So
So how much RAM are you planning on putting in this thing?
I'm looking at DDR4 3200. That will be. I'm looking at putting in 16 gigs of RAM right now, with the ability to drop in a couple more sticks to go up to 32 when prices kind of go down a little bit more.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna start with 16 because everything that I've read, that should be enough to handle just about anything that I'm gonna do, and then my motherboard and processor can handle up to 64 gigs of RAM. So, but buying sticks at 16 gigs each to try to get 32 and 2 sticks of RAM is like $600.
Yikes.
So, or I guess the 32 is about $400. The 16 gigs of RAM is we're still looking at about $200. So,
Yeah.
pretty good chunk of change, especially what it was just a year ago when I was looking at stuff. I should have bought some of this stuff back then. The prices have gone up, and there's lots of things that I've read. There's lots of federal inquiries on why the prices are so high. They think there might be some. I believe there's actually a federal lawsuit against some of the manufacturers on price gouging and actually forcing, not creating stuff to artificially force the prices to go up.
Interesting.
So because like video cards right now they're getting hurt for two reasons. One, people aren't the AMD and those kind of I guess it's not AMD, Nvidia are not making new video cards necessarily. They're still, kind of, they just have their video cards from a year ago, but those have gone up in price. They're right now they're looking at about $100 to $150 over suggested retail price.
Holy cow.
And part of that's because they're not making new stuff, so they've kind of stifled the market. The other part is this cryptocurrency craze that's going on right now. Video cards are getting bought up a lot. There's people are building machines that have 3, 4, 5 video cards in there to mine for cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So that's what's causing some of that, and the RAM is just right up there with it. It's just being tied into that same kind of stuff. So it's just forcing the prices up a little higher than what they should be at for what we're looking at right now. That's what I'm being told. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the prices are high when I'm trying to buy this stuff, but that's why I'm being told why the prices are so high. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be full of shit. People could be lying to me, but I don't know any difference. So
Yeah.
that's what I go with.
Could be. I don't know. I haven't purchased RAM in such a long time. I got a new work computer last week. It has 32 gig on it, but I know nothing of prices or anything. They just send me a thing saying, which computer do you want? I said, this one, and it shows up.
Yeah.
I don't know what we paid for it or anything.
Right. Well, and sometimes with, work things, they have deals with whoever it is that they're getting the computers from. They can also have,
Oh, yeah. The volume we buy computers. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they could, on top of that, it's like, well, these are already, pre-assembled computers. You're not just buying the parts for it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some computers that were already put together that had 16 gigs of RAM that we're selling for $500 for a new computer, and it's got 16 gigs of RAM in it, but the processor's not is not very high. The video card on it was junk, for what I need. Um,
Yeah.
to play and record the games for Geekvice Gaming and play those at a higher quality than what I'm playing them at now. To be able to do this stream and have this be able to stream well and be able to do the video processing stuff, I just need a little bit higher things than what I've got in this laptop. So it'll happen. It'll all happen eventually.
You win that lottery, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. I was like, one of these days I'm going to win the lottery, and then this will never be an issue. And then they look at me and they go, well, did you buy a ticket this week? No, I have to play the lottery to win the lottery. So that's why I'm never going to win. But I keep saying eventually, maybe I will win.
Yeah.
You
and I are in the same boat. I'm going to win that lottery without buying a ticket somehow.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that somebody gives me one and says, here, you win.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
So, last week we talked about, and I think we talked about it on the air. Maybe we talked about it after off the air, but we talked about that you had gotten I Kill Giants and that you were going to read I Kill Giants.
This is correct.
Did you read I Kill Giants?
I did read I Kill Giants. And it was completely not what I expected.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So should we go ahead and spoil it, or it looks like it's been around a little while?
It has been around a long time, and since both of us have listened to, that doesn't work. Since both of us have read it, then I say we go ahead. We put the spoiler warnings on here now. We're probably going to say things that will ruin it. So beware. Make sure if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, push pause, go read it. It's a short read. You can read it really quick. So.
Yeah, I'm not a very fast reader, and I knocked it out pretty quick.
So yeah, let's go with it. We'll start off with, this is I Kill Giants by Joe Kelly and J.M. Kim Nomura. Okay, there you go. That's what we're talking about.
We got that out of the way.
Go. What do you think? What'd you think?
Okay, so it's called I Kill Giants.
Yep.
At least the first 2 chapters, maybe even the first 3. It's about this girl named Barbara who basically eats, sleeps, and breathes D&D. She's a DM. She has this very vivid imagination where nothing in the real world bothers her because she can kill giants. I mean, the school bully is trying to bully her, and she's having none of it because what's a school bully compared to a giant that I can slay?
Right.
And so you're like the whole time like, man, I really hope this comes down to giants are real, and this is going to, she's going to show the world kind of thing. I didn't expect it to go where it went. Then when it did go there, I was like, oh, I should have saw that coming. I'm not very bright.
Yeah, but it's almost the way that the book is written to purposely take you down that way. It gives you little hints, but it does such a good job of writing it. The writing is so well done that it's you don't even think that way. You don't even it shows you the door, but you never really want to walk through it. It's kind of like Barbara in the book. Like, the door's there and it scares her to death, but she won't go through it.
Right. If this was happening in real life, you would look at it and go, what's troubling this girl? Why does she do the things she does? But in a comic, you're reading it not thinking of real life. You're like, oh, this could actually turn out to be something cool.
Yeah.
because it's a comic, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So if you were just dealing with a normal, how old is this girl? 13, 14 years old?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so if you're dealing with a 13, 14-year-old that's that engrossed in something that her reality is skewed, you would start wanting to know, why did she bury her head in the sand in the D&D world? You don't do that with the comic. At least I didn't do that with the
Yeah.
comic book. And
No.
then once the reveal happened, it's like, dang it, I should have saw that. But but then again, it was also like, it was so powerful that you're just kind of, um, I guess, sucked in at that point, and you're just, even though I missed the boat and didn't see the big reveal coming, and when it hit, I wasn't disappointed in myself as much as I was just feeling bad for the girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really did. It provided that once the reveal happened, like once it came up, you just like I just kind of I couldn't put the book down. Like at that point it was like, "Oh man, I had empathy for her." It's like I didn't pity her. I didn't feel sorry for her. Like I had empathy. It was like I knew how she felt, and it was just like it was just so well done. It was just
It was well done, and there's still that point. Okay, so the reveal comes through the school counselor,
yeah.
and there's still that part of you are like, maybe the school counselor is wrong, and she really does slay giants. But then you realize we never talk about her mom. In fact,
Yeah.
I thought her older sister was her mom for a while,
Yeah.
because they just glossed over the family dynamic.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they did.
So, yeah.
And it was well, and it was even so well done with the way that it was the idea that that the giant was more a metaphor than anything else, and that
Yeah.
like once Barbara realized that slaying the giant, like in her head, I kind of felt like you had an epiphany at the same time Barbara had the epiphany, that it was like the giant that she keeps trying to slay, that she's so worried about coming, was finally coming in a metaphor, and it clicked, and she's like, you know what, I can defeat this, I can get through this, I can get past it. And like it just changed it changed the book. Like it just flipped it 180, and like then it became a real life book. It didn't become a fantasy book anymore. It became,
Yeah. So the whole thing, when she first talks about giants, and her new friend asks her, well, why do you even need to kill giants? And this is one of the big hints. Giants come and take away your family, everybody you love, and takes them away, and you got to kill them from keeping them from doing that.
Yeah.
Should have saw it coming when she said that.
Right.
And then at the reveal, in her imagination, the metaphorical giant shows up and says, I'm not here for her, I am here for you. That was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
That you kind of get a lump in your throat at that point. You're like, holy cow. And then then it says, what did he say? Something like, you're stronger than you think, and you can get through this, or something like that. And it's like, holy cow, this just went real.
Yeah.
It went real hard.
Yeah, and oh man, it really did. And it's such a powerful book. It is such a powerful book. And so I feel like we have to give the reveal in order to really talk about this more. So
yeah, I'm starting to wonder if we shouldn't, because I think we're kind of covering it, but yeah, it's a toughie.
it really is. It really is. So All right, screw it. I'm going to really spoil this. So if you haven't read this book, please don't listen to this. Um, if you don't have an interest in reading this book, feel free to listen. We'll tell you about it, and maybe then you'll want to read it. But the reveal is that Barbara's mother is dying of cancer, and the cancer has affected everyone's life. I mean,
As
this
it does.
this day and age, if you can't throw a stone without hitting somebody who has somebody in their family's died from it. They've dealt with it. You know, anything, any level, like
Right.
it's all over the place, and um, it was so. I wish I would have read this book years ago. I wish I would have. I wish I wouldn't have just, you know, heard about it, glossed over it, like, yeah, it's just another one of those books, and just moved on, and then kind of forgot about it until I was looking for I was looking for a trade that I could read that was just a complete story all in one, and I didn't have to get into an ongoing story. And it's like, oh yeah, I should go get that. So I did, and um, yeah, this book I recommend, and that's, did Holly read this?
No, we kind of made a group decision that she should not read this one because of what happened with her father.
Yeah,
And I didn't think that would probably set too well.
and that's
So,
well, and that's why I had mentioned to you to have you read it first before, because, and now you know why why I
yeah,
told you don't just hand this book to her, um, because it's, for somebody who went through exactly what Barbara went through, this book could be really, really hard for him, but it could also be a um, crutch isn't the right word. It
could be
therapeutic.
therapeutic.
Therapeutic. That's the word I was looking for. And it's I, the way that Joe Kelly writes this with Barbara, and the way he puts so much emotion into Barbara without giving it away, without leading anything. Um, when the book was done, it's like I just wanted, I, I I wanted to, I wanted to find Barbara and just give her a big hug. It was like that's the emotional growth that she goes through the book. You feel it.
You do. Absolutely do.
And you can't say that about a lot of comic books.
So, the night I read it, the plan was we always read upstairs in bed. I had that and another book. It's like, well, I can knock out this trade pretty quick, which I did. And then when I got done, I had to come downstairs and watch something fun on TV. I couldn't just pick up the next book and start reading because that thing affected me so much. It's like, I need something happy now.
Yeah.
And my next book wasn't going to be happy, so it's like, I need... So I just came down and watched... I can't remember... Oh, I watched some board game videos from Sit Down and Shut Up. Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Shut up and sit down.
Shut Up and Sit Down, yeah. See,
I
I'm
think.
still affected by the book.
Yeah.
But, it was seriously, it's like, oh, well, I can't read anymore now, so I got to do something else. Yeah, the writing is that powerful. Artwork-wise, at times I had a hard time figuring out what was going on in some of the panels.
Yeah.
Did you have that same problem? Especially when the metaphorical giant showed up, I couldn't tell what was going on.
Right.
And maybe I wasn't supposed to be able to tell.
And I
Maybe
think
that was the point.
I think you're right on there. I think you're right on. It's a the art is hard, and this I have this with a lot of um, self-published or indie published books that go with black and white art. Black and white art is really really hard. Um, because it is hard to make each character distinguishable. Each character has to be separate, there has to be something specific, and it can't just be the color of their hair. That's the thing with with most comic books. You could be like, oh well, no, I don't remember. Well, perfect example, Scott Pilgrim. If you read Scott Pilgrim, you're trying to keep track of who all these people are. Well, they all look different, and one's got this color hair, and one's got this color hair, and one's got this type of this colored shirt on, and the male characters or the female characters might look similar, but they have a distinguished color that they can separate them. When you get into black
Okay.
and white, you can't do that. You know, you 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 got two colors for hair. You got white or black. That's it.
Yeah.
So there has to be other things, and that's one of the things. Um, Honestly, in my opinion, and I, Joe Kelly or Ken Nomura could tell me I'm complete bullshit, but the character design for Barbara and her rabbit ears that she always wore, like that was the distinguishing thing. Like whether that was
Yeah, and the big glasses where you couldn't see her eyes. Yeah.
yes, yeah, there were specific things that you could always pick out Barbara, and you could always pick out the bully because the bully was
Huge.
huge, overweight, almost like or not overweight, but just a larger body, like a giant.
Yeah.
But
And then
yeah,
her new friend was Asian looking
yes, yeah,
with jet black straight hair.
yeah,
So those three characters were very easily distinguishable because they were so vastly different.
yes,
But the entourage that went with the bully and the lunchroom with all these other kids, none of them were distinguishable from each
yes,
other.
yeah. But they didn't
Yeah.
need to be, like
They did not need to be as correct.
That's
yeah.
right. But yeah, and I agree with you. When you get into the point where the giant, the metaphorical giant, actually shows up, and the pages, the panels end up becoming really hard to see what's going on. And I think you're right. I think it's on purpose. I think it was a way to make them add to the confusion, to add to the emotional confusion that you're getting to in that part of the book, in those panels. That just the flood of emotions and the confusion that you feel when somebody you love's going through this. It's I I think it was really well done. I
Yeah.
The art was. I agree with you. There's times where you're looking at a panel and you're just like, I just glossed over it. I read the words and I just moved on to the next one because I had no idea what was happening. But I think you're right. I think it was on purpose.
Yeah, and the giant is just basically a black smear on the page. And I think they chose the giant to look like that because, at least in my mind, when I think of cancer, I just think of this black splotch in your body.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they went with as well. Plus, absence of light and all that other stuff. It just kind of blots out everything.
Right.
And I think metaphorically that's the way the giant was portrayed. And again, I think, like you just said, because when she's fighting the giant, you couldn't tell what the hell's going on, was, I think, to help with the transition.
Yeah.
You can see clearly, giant shows up, now you can't see clearly, giant goes away, now you see clearly again.
And even so much so that the artwork, the panels afterwards, when she defeats that giant and she's able to go into her mom's room, the lines were cleaner. Like they were
Yes.
the artwork was almost like perfect. You know, it was there was no smudge here or there. There was no like every line was just a crisp, clean line. It even the shade there wasn't the shading. The shading looked more natural and normal. It didn't. It was just it was a cleaner image.
Well, and you also will notice that on the panels where her imagination, what's going on in the panel is what's going on in her imagination.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork has more of a rushed feel.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not as clean. The lines are
Mm-hmm.
jagged. Everything you just said. So I think that's how the artist decided to show us reality is nice and clean, straight lines. Her imagination is more childlike and frantic and
Yeah.
messy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was yeah. This was spot on, and it was. I thought it was good across the board. I give it.
Yeah. So if you didn't mind that you're still listening and you didn't mind we spoil it, I would highly recommend I Kill Giants. If
Yeah.
you have a friend you think would like this subject matter, I highly recommend it for them as a present, or at least pointing them in that direction. It's worth the read. It's just not for everybody because it is a very tough subject.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and it's definitely one that's going to require knowing your audience before you know this. This isn't a book you can just hand to anybody. But if you know the person and you know that they can that this could be therapeutic for them or they can take it for what it is, then I absolutely recommend it. This book I got it digitally. I'm going to actually purchase. I want to purchase a either a hardback or I might even just purchase the trade paperback to go up on my shelf with some of my other ones that I have, like Astonishing X-Men and Lock and Key and um, some of these other trades that I have that I just think are really good. This one has got to go. This one's gonna go right up there with them. It's I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I get it, 10 out of 10 hearts, whatever you rating system you want to give it. It's this is it is awesome.
Well, it's one of those rare times where if you're good with the subject matter and you like storytelling that's a little bit more real, it is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If you don't like, if you can't handle the subject matter, it's a 0 out of 10.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's not for everyone, but if you can handle it, it's worth the read.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah. Now that we've brought everybody down,
Let's bring them back up.
let's let's move on to some things that are a little more happier and a little more fun. And
Yes,
there
please.
there's some trailers that have just been released the last week, I guess. Um, let's start.
Yeah,
Let's start with the Transformer trailer for Bumblebee. What do you
let's
think?
do that.
All right, so we'll start with this one. There is no. I could not find a rating for this yet. I don't believe it has a rating yet. But it is projected to be released on the 21st of December this year, 2018. This movie is called Bumblebee. It is it is going to be a prequel and takes place in 1987, before the rest of the Autobots, Optimus Prime, end up on Earth. And one of the producers that is titled in this is Michael Bay, but he is not the director, and it is not his. I don't believe it's his production house that's actually doing the production. The director is Travis Knight. So, and he has done. This will be his first live action, I believe. He has done a lot of stop motion animation. He's done a movie called Kubo and the Two Strings, which I have heard is really good, but I've never seen it, so I
Yeah,
can't
same here.
can't say anything for that. I'm not sure that I've actually seen any of his work, but I've heard he's really good. Um, what do you think, Kip, on this trailer that came out?
Well, the first time I saw this trailer, or even knew this trailer existed, was because everybody in the podcast arcade is on a Facebook chat. And then all of a sudden, the Facebook chat started blowing up because people were talking about this trailer. And the prevailing comment was, this movie looks like it has enough heart that it may erase all the bad things the other Transformer movies have done to the franchise. I watched, so then again, it's like, well, now I got to watch this trailer. I agree, it does look like it has a lot of heart. It has the exact same CGI quality as the other ones.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Shia LaBeouf, which is probably a positive.
Yeah.
It just, for origin story, it's exactly what I'd want for Transformers, I think, judging by the trailer alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one of my arguments to the Transformer movies is how dependent they have been on humans. This movie is going to be about humans.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I'm a little hesitant on, because I think, in my opinion, Transformers do better when they are the superior, they are the main focal point, they're at the top of the food chain. They're the most powerful beings on our planet. They don't need humans. Humans are little sidekicks to them that they have to protect. That's the way the cartoon was. That's the way the original animated movie was. Some of the best series that have gotten, didn't have any humans in them at all. But with that being said, this movie has done a couple of things different that I think could be really good compared to the last one. One, the number of Transformers in this movie, at least by the trailer, and from everything that I've read, is pretty small. You're looking at somewhere in the maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4, and that's it. Where, the first Transformer movie, there was, 5 or 6 Autobots, and then you had another, 3 or 4 or 5 Decepticons. There's quite a few. So that'll be interesting. Something else that they've done that I thought was really good is they're taking Bumblebee back to his Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. And the third thing is, the main character for this is Bumblebee and a female, played by Haley Steinfeld. And I think that's actually really good. I think that I like that. I hope that she has a powerful part to play, and that she's not just the damsel in distress that Bumblebee has to save.
And I think she's not going to be, if you can judge it by the casting.
Yeah.
Because she's the girl that played Petra in Ender's Game.
Mm-hmm.
somewhat of a strong character, but she was also, oh, what was that? She was the little girl in the True Grit remake.
Yes.
Was that a tough kid or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I just judge it by her past performances and project her forward, I would think they chose her because she can play a
Yes.
strong person.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say strong female, just a strong person altogether.
Yes. Absolutely. I would agree with you, and that's where I hope it's kind of head in that direction too. Um, there After I saw this trailer and this discussion on our Facebook chat kind of blew up and went a little crazy. Um, I went out to see what more I could find. Some interviews with Travis Knight, um, some just some stuff out there to try to figure out like what direction they wanted to take this. And I believe it was an interview with Travis Knight where he discussed um, when he sat down with the producers and the higher ups involved and said, okay, here's what we want to do. They did a couple things. One, they went back and used things from Generation 1 TV series, which was very family friendly. It wasn't about the explosions. It wasn't a Michael Bay movie or a Michael Bay TV show. It things just, yes, there were explosions, but it wasn't just explosions for explosion's sake, like trees blowing up when they fall into each other.
Yeah.
But then two, they brought up the movie Iron Giant. Have you seen the movie Iron Giant?
I have seen that, yes.
So Iron Giant is a movie that is all about the relationship between a robot and a human. And I think that would be awesome if this movie ends up turning into something like Iron Giant. The relationship between Haley Steinfeld's character, whose name's Charlie Watson, and Bumblebee. This could be the movie that actually takes you to a point where it explains why the Autobots want to save Earth, want to save the humans. Because in the first movie, they were trying to save the humans, but why? Nobody really ever knew. Nobody, like,
because they felt bad for Shia LaBeouf.
Pretty much. I mean, if Shia LaBeouf was the first person that you met there, wouldn't you just like stand out of the way and let them take him? Like,
say, yeah, these people are doomed. We're done.
If this is the guy that's representing your like people, man, yeah, maybe you're not worth saving. But this could be the movie that just fits that void, that tells that story, that makes the Autobots into the protectors, that takes them from just an alien robot on the planet to, no, I need to, like, I have an emotional connection to this person, and that if I can connect with this one human, why couldn't I, if they're all like this person, then we should save them, type thing. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
You know what? I agree with all that. I do think it's going to be some sort of Iron Giant kind of feel. Going back to the roots is exactly what this franchise needed.
Yes.
I think having Bumblebee befriend a cute little girl kind of just feeds into the whole how sweet kind of motive that I think they're trying to go for. And she's tough enough and she's old enough that it's not going to be sugary sweet.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a good friendship story. So, agree with all what you said. I'm not as hesitant about it not being Transformers driven as much as it is a human story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking forward to it, and hopefully they right some wrongs that happened, especially in the Transformers 3. Was it 3? The last one Shia LaBeouf did, where they ended up at the pyramids.
Yeah.
That was the
That was.
worst movie.
I think that was 2.
Was that Dark of the Moon or something like that?
Yeah.
I
I
tried to
don't.
put it out of my memory. That was so bad. So
They're.
hopefully
Yeah.
this can right some wrongs that happened in there.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I really hope so. I got high hopes for this. This could be the first Transformer movie, or I guess the second Transformer movie that I actually pay to see. Um, I paid to see the first one, and I enjoyed the first one. The second one, I hated the trailer so much, and I hated what I had seen in clips and things like that after it came out that I refused to go to the theater to see it. Um, and I have yet to give Michael Bay any of my money since that first movie. Being that Michael Bay is not directing this movie gives me hope that this movie will be good. And there is a. If this trailer, I mean, we'll see what else comes out, but if this trailer is any sign of what this movie's, how this movie's going to be, um, they'll get my money. I will see this in the theater. I will take my kids to the theater and watch this movie because I think this could be a movie. This could be the Transformer movie that my kids have been asking for since I showed them the original Transformers movie.
Don't blame your kids. This is the movie you've been wanting to see since the first one.
It's very possible, but I mean, my kids have watched because they wanted to see the Transformers, the Transformers movies, so I downloaded the Transformers movies and showed them the Transformers movies. And every time they watched them, they were like, "I don't understand anything that happened there." Like they can't follow the story. They're like, it was okay. I mean, I think at
Yeah.
one point we even turned the movie off because they were just like, yeah, this just isn't. Let's go watch something else.
Well,
And
it's Michael Bay, and to be completely honest, the way I look at Michael Bay movies, he's got a total hard on for the American military.
yeah,
And it comes through in the Transformer movies. The best part of those movies are the military scenes.
yeah,
Everything else kind of falls apart. But that, especially the first one, the fighting in the desert, the scorpion thing, bring the rain, and the A-10 Warthog comes in and fires the Gatling gun.
mm-hmm,
That shit was awesome.
yeah,
But after that, if it wasn't for some good comedic timing by our buddy Shia and the people who played his parents, that movie would have completely tanked,
yeah.
like Dark of the Moon did.
Right, right. It definitely had that potential.
Yeah.
So
So that's what Michael Bay brings to the table. In fact, if you could make a movie that has a military aspect to it and only let Michael Bay direct that part of the movie and then bring in like Spielberg to do the rest where it's the human side of it, it'd be a perfect movie.
there you go. Yeah, maybe that's what's gonna happen down the road. I don't know. I really hope this movie does well. So
Me too.
we'll just have to see. So the other trailer that came out, and I think this actually just got released today, maybe yesterday. I just saw it today. It has not there. I know for sure there is no rating for this one, but this movie is scheduled to come out December 14th, so 1 week before Bumblebee. This is a new Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is a completely 100% computer animated superhero film. And
Oh, the animation is awesome.
yes, I love the animation on this. I thought it looked really good. And I think honestly, it has the artwork, the animation to it has a comic book feel to it. I
It does.
I really like it. Um, this is going to be um, this is not a Peter Parker story. Peter Parker is in it, which I find really fun. But this is not a story about Peter Parker. This is a story about Miles Morales, and um, Miles Morales was created by Brian Michael Bendis in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book series, which was a alternate universe where Peter Parker had died. The original Spider-Man had died, and Miles Morales happened to get bit in a similar way, but had different abilities, different spider abilities. So the series that Brian Michael Bendis did, this Ultimate Spider-Man series that with Miles Morales, was incredible. It was a really good story. It was a lot of fun to read. Had some really good stuff. It had some really good storylines, and it kind of reset the Spider-Man universe in the comic book. This was so good that they ended up pulling this from the Ultimate Universe into the comic book 616, the main universe. They ended up doing a crossover between the two universes, which I think from the trailer is going to have some stuff in here. Um, that's why it's into the Spider Verse. There was a Spider Verse series in the comic books that connected all these different universes, this multiverse of the Spider-Men. So you had universes where Peter Parker was Spider-Man. You had universes where Miles Morales was Spider-Man. You had universes where Gwen Stacy became Spider-Man. Um, there's all these different Spider-Men out there. There's even one where there's a Spider Pig, which is kind of funny.
That
Um,
is hilarious.
the kind of a hit to the Simpsons movie, which I thought was really funny. So this trailer I thought looked really good, and I think this trailer has the ability to reset the Spider-Man universe and give them the ability to go in a different direction with Spider-Man, that the same way this Bumblebee movie could do that for Transformers.
Okay. Not knowing all that background, all that's actually pretty awesome. My first reaction was to think about the Donald Glover character in Spider-Man: Homecoming,
Mm-hmm.
because isn't he supposed to be Miles Morales' uncle or something like this? So, of course, my first thought is this a precursor to him showing up in the live action stuff like Avengers 4 or something? So, of course, I let my fingers do the walking and Googled it, and there are rumors about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I like how everything is kind of connected,
Mm-hmm.
separate but yet connected. It's pretty cool for somebody who is not up to date on all the comics and things like that, as I am. So I have to have something to connect it to, and if it is connected to the MCU live action universe, I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I I think this has got. I think the trailer makes this thing look really good, but then I started digging a little bit deeper, just like you did, and I started looking at, okay, well, who's going to direct this movie? Who's going to, you know, who's going to write this movie? Where is it going to come from? Um, One, this is a Marvel Entertainment joint. This is going to be a joint between Marvel Entertainment, the same people who do the Avengers and all that stuff, with Sony Pictures Animation. So this is going to have the Marvel overlords involved. So that's kind of cool. The other thing that I thought was really cool was one of the directors that is that is actually tagged on this. There's 3 directors for it because most animated movies have multiple directors. Um, One of the directors is Peter A. Ramsey, and at first I was like, that name sounds familiar, but I didn't know why, so I had to look into him. He's he is the director of Rise of the Guardians, which was another animated movie that I absolutely loved, and
Yeah.
my whole family has loved. He directed that. That was his directorial debut, was Rise of the Guardians in 2012. If this movie is half as good as Rise of the Guardians, it will be a phenomenal movie. Like, he's got the fact that he was able to do Rise of the Guardians for his first movie and it turn out as well as it did gives me high hopes for what he could do with this movie and the properties that he has available to him. Good times, man. Good
It
times.
is. It's something to be excited about because, honestly, animated movies for me have been kind of hit and miss. Yeah, the Killing Joke was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Marvel animated stuff, though, has kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is the exception to that, and because I'd love to see a good animated Marvel movie, and I really haven't seen it yet. So this could be the first one for me.
No, right there with you. Right there with you. I have really enjoyed all of the DC animated stuff. I think DC does the animated movies better than they do the live action movies. And Marvel's the other way around. Their live action movies have been awesome. Their animated stuff has really kind of left you a little, left you wanting.
Yes.
So, I think this one has got a great chance. It also has a pretty good cast that have done some kind of. I mean, it's kind of funny because we just talked about Haley Steinfeld in Bumblebee. She's in this movie too. She plays. She's the voice of Gwen Stacy.
Oh yeah, she is, isn't she?
We also have your good boy Liv Schreiber. He's in this movie.
Yeah.
Playing as the Kingpin. So yeah, they didn't hold back on finding some people to kind of play some of the roles in here. So I think it's gonna be really good. I really like it. So I'm excited. It gives me a really makes me really excited for December, right before Christmas. Maybe go to the movies a couple times over Christmas break with the kids, because there's a couple of movies there that I think could fit. And one more thing I should throw out there. I didn't throw out there the writers for this thing. So couple of the writers for it, Phil Lord and Christopher Robert Miller. They kind of have a little bit of stuff that they've done that actually turned out really well. Seen the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs in 2009?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that one.
Oh, cool.
You might also have known the other movie that kind of was a big hit for them. It came out in 2014 called The Lego Movie. Yeah, they wrote that one too. So, they're not holding back when it comes to who's involved with this. They're hitting some definite. They're bringing in some heavy hitters to make this thing. So, I'm excited for it.
I am too, and like I said, I just been wanting a Marvel animated movie to get my interest, and this one seems to be the one that's going to do it.
Yeah.
So December, at least there's something to look forward to there. Other than let's say isn't Aquaman in December this year, so
Yeah.
so there's some things to look forward to. But
Well, and there's
yeah,
isn't there another Star Wars movie in December too this year?
I don't think so.
It could be wrong. Could be wrong. December could end up turning into the next the next May.
It could. Yeah, the episode 9 I don't think comes out until 2020 or
Oh, is that
20 late 2019. I can't
okay?
remember which.
Maybe it's a December 2019 thing, and I just had my years off, which is very possible. I get confused really easily. So
Don't we all?
yeah. All right, so there
Yeah,
you go.
there's something. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, well, there was something that one of the movies came out this year, and the next one comes out next year, but that was Infinity War. So never mind.
Yeah, no, that's next. No. Yep. Yep, there's that. We got that to look forward to. All right, we've got to end this thing. We've gone on long enough. I hope you guys have enjoyed everything so far. Be sure to check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekvice. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go through the Facebook page. It's the easiest way. There's a tab right there that says YouTube on the left-hand side of Facebook, and then you can actually hit subscribe right from there, and it'll take you right to your the YouTube page. You can also, hey, you know what? I haven't done this in a while. You should go check out the Podcast Arcade at thepodcastarcade.com. Go check out our other guys like Underground Inc. and Daydream Instruction Manual. There's good guys over at Mega, Make Eternia Great Again. What else am I missing? Falcon Punch Thunder Dads.
Thunder Dads.
Paranormal Dads.
Yep.
I feel like I'm missing another one, but I can't think of what it is. But
You're so bad at this.
I know. I should have wrote them down. I should write them down. I should be in our closing every day.
It should just be automatic.
Yeah. But, you know, I suck at this, so hey, this is what you get.
This is it. This is all we have.
So go check out thepodcastarcade.com. All of them are there. They're all right there. You just click on them, and they'll take you right to their pages.
Yeah, just click on their arcade cabinet, and you're there.
That's right. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can follow that man right over there, at Kip Killigan. You can follow me, at Geekvice. And, of course, as always, you can reach us by email at geekvice@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone, for listening to our ramblings, and we will see you next time.
Laters.
This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.